Good morning, students. May I have your attention, please, for this morning's announcements?
See your shirt is untucked.
Detention.
Homework is due every single day. That's why it's homework.
I will be calling your
Hey,
parents.
what's going on here? No running in school. I'm going to tell your coach about
I
this.
said that's enough, both of you. Out in the hall.
Welcome to Out in the Hall
Man.
with Ryno and the Willy Mammoth. I am Ryno, and that is the Willy Mammoth. We're here. We're doing it again.
We're made it. I'm wearing camouflage.
Yeah, I like that.
You think it's going to clash with the curtains behind us?
I don't think so. I gotta look like I'm going to play golf. I'm not.
We played golf yesterday.
We did. That was really fun.
I had a great time,
I had a great time.
right?
Yes.
Glenn, your guy?
Yeah, Glenn's a great guy.
Great guy.
Yeah, super guy. And your guy was great. Richard was great, too.
What a blast.
Great
First
guy.
time I've ever played golf with PGA Tour professional.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A lot of guys get freaked out by that.
I just know I'm not great, so it doesn't bother me. I bet I beat the guy's ass in something else.
Those guys are freak athletes. I think
I know.
there's definitely something you could beat him in.
He looks sturdy for his age, too.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Should we get to some of these?
The fan mail.
I wouldn't have used the word fan mail.
No, I'm excited.
I'm excited too, and I'm excited that there's some engagement, which means people are listening
And getting some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they're enjoying it.
It's funny. I can't read them all. You know what I mean? But I pulled a few.
The amount is overwhelming.
Well, I mean, I pulled a few, so I don't know if we can get to all of them. But it's cool to hear from people.
I love it.
Why don't you tell everybody, Matt, what our email address is? Do you remember it?
Yeah, it's outinthehallpod@gmail.com.
That's right.
That-
And I need to get you that password. Don't
That's
I?
probably the only thing I remember from last episode.
It's a long time ago. It's a week ago. You're good. Okay, this is Will from Orlando, local fella.
Oh, local Floridian.
Yep, local fella. He says, fellas, you guys are idiots. Hold on. He says, fellas, you guys are idiots, but I mean that in the best way. Listening to you guys brings me back to happy hours in college where we would just bullshit with each other, constantly laughing. Too bad they don't tell you in college that those days will be long behind you when you get older. Thankfully, I found your podcast. Now I find myself laughing outside, sitting in the bullpen in my office. Last week's episode about Harvard and Walmart had me dying in all caps.
Oh.
You guys are hilarious. I laughed so hard my sales manager had to tap my shoulder twice to tell me to not be so loud.
This is effusive because it started off pretty rocky.
Oh, I think he was like, you guys are idiots. My sales manager finally asked me what the hell was so funny. I told him about you guys and he listened. I don't know how to tell you this, but I have never really gotten along with this guy. But after I shared your podcast, he's kind of relaxed around me. And now in the last week, we've gone out for drinks twice and we're playing golf this weekend together. All thanks to you knuckleheads. Okay, nice word.
Maybe they'll get lucky. That's the next step.
Yeah, hey, pal, you might want to.
Might want to slow your roll.
He says, turns out he wasn't always such a corporate square. Thanks for the laughs. Ryan, you kill me when you're doing stand-up here. Will from Orlando.
Oh.
And then he says, P.S. I told my sales manager I was going to write this so I don't get fired if he heard it on the pod. So feel free to share with impunity. His name is Todd, by the way. All right, Todd. Well,
Todd.
I hope you got
Welcome.
lucky. All right, here's Brad from Orlando.
Oh, a couple local fellas.
Yep, Matt and Ryan. Boys, I've always wanted to do a podcast with some buddies. We think we are pretty funny, but no one really has the stones to put themselves out there. After hearing the story of Ryan and his comedy career, I think I'm going to try my hand-up stand-up first. It can't be that hard, right?
When did this transition from just a gig to a career?
What's that? Well, I guess if you get paid for it, you're a pro, right?
It's a career. Okay. I mean, all right.
Yeah, Brad, I guess it can be that hard. Question for you guys. What do you do for your real jobs? How old are you guys? Let's answer that and then we'll go to the rest of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. God.
I don't think you have to say what company you work for.
I mean, good. I think I've scrubbed myself social media completely, like corporate wise.
Smart.
So yeah, I don't think I have a LinkedIn page anymore, which is great.
You know what I get on LinkedIn?
What?
Messages from LinkedIn say I need to buy more stuff from LinkedIn. I will use LinkedIn. I like to know what the person I'm talking to looks like.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is my last resort.
Okay.
I'll go like Instagram first, then I'll go Facebook. And if I can't find it, I'll try LinkedIn. Cause like
I didn't say that I've scrubbed myself from social media. I still have some light stalker accounts.
sleepers.
Yeah,
Sleeper
sleepers. So you can get access to the information. Like you can go on Twitter and
See what you need to see.
see what I need to see, but I'm not like posting anything
Right,
or
right.
even liking anything. So what do we do? It's a good question. I'm not really sure how to describe it besides like participate in developing apartment complexes.
Okay. You're an apartment developer.
Right. Yeah. And all that consists of. We have a team of great people that we all work together to see projects out of the ground and how we put all the money together for that and all that stuff.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm a stand-up comedian.
Set me up.
I mean, I held my breath. My stomach was so tight. I'm like, when is this guy going to shut up? No, he really did answer. For now, I am in the insurance business. Okay. Then he says, I know you're both married to your quote current wives. Unreal line, by the way. That's Matt. That was Matt's idea.
Well, hold on.
It is funny.
That is absolutely true.
It is true.
If you have a wife, she's your current wife. And
She is. Where do you currently live? Why is
Right.
that so offensive?
right, exactly. Now, what the current wife does is it makes everybody think that, there was one before.
Well, thanks for explaining the joke. Hey, Brad, maybe don't do that bit on your first time on stage. Okay. And then he says, your current wives, do they think you guys are funny?
No.
No. Not like in a mean way. They're just like, well, at least I can speak for my current wife.
She's over it.
Well, and I'm
not speaking for yours.
No.
I'm speaking for but I know she is too.
Well, she is, because I'm trying to do more stand-up. I am constantly writing jokes, and I do a lot of that in my head in the shower. Then I'll come out and more than once I've come out and grab my phone and wrote a note down, and I'll be laughing. And she's like, what are you? And I'm like, well, I just thought of this. And it's just the biggest eye roll. Maybe I'm not your test audience.
I don't think that my current wife really likes me most of the time. So,
Okay. Then he says, all right, keep bringing the laughs and the beards. Matt,
Oh.
yours is epic. Brad
Yes.
from Atlanta.
Brad,
Okay. We're staying in Florida here. Sarah from Daytona.
there's really a lot of fans.
I told you I had to sort it. Sarah from Daytona. Hi, guys. A friend of mine just introduced me to your podcast. He saw Ryan do stand-up in Nashville, and I guess he follows him on social media. He told me the Nashville show was incredible, and no one knew or could believe it was his first time.
That's nice.
Thanks, Sarah. You guys are a bright spot in my day, and I can only imagine how much fun you are having. There is something so cool about listening to two best friends pick on each other and being a fly on the wall while they discuss their perspectives. Question for Matt. Do you try to show up Ryan with your pop quizzes and show and shares? Yours are amazing. The Mexico City stuff was hilarious. Can't wait to listen to more. Sarah
so
from
I'll
Daytona.
answer the question. Sarah,
I put that in there for you.
up until just right before this episode, I have been letting Ryan just crash and burn on his own. So I finally gave him a couple tips outside.
I was hands on my head. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I can't, I'm stuck. I mean, full on writer's block.
It's not hard. You just have to understand the premise.
It's a formula.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, all jokes aside, you really, we're new at this. In the first few episodes, you really, really developed a great formula that's worked for you.
Thanks.
I'm trying Matt's formula today. We'll see how good or bad it is. All right. This is awesome. I pulled this one. This is awesome. Mark from Jacksonville.
Oh.
Matt's hometown.
Oh, hometown. Jayville. Oh, no. My phone rang.
Pause.
Hold on. I can't. I can't.
Really?
Yeah, I can't.
Okay. We have a rule on Out in the Hall. If your phone rings on Ringer,
Yeah.
you have to answer on the pod.
I do want to say that I did leave it on Ringer intentionally, waiting for a call back from a specific person.
Was that the person?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, let me go back to Mark from Jacksonville. Wow. Thanks for wasting 45 minutes of my life. If I wanted to hear two people pretend to be smarter than they are, I'd go to a local high school philosophy class.
I don't think they have philosophy at high school.
Not a fan. Sorry, not sorry. Mark from Jacksonville.
Mark, I'm going to have to do some work on the local fella.
Why don't you find out who this fella is?
It's a pretty common
Is it
name.
a little loud in the garbage truck when you're trying to listen to the podcast there, Mark?
I don't think.
Could you not hear the funny?
I mean, that might not be a garbage truck driver's name.
Could be. Oh, man, that's funny. Okay. Valerie from Orlando.
Why are they all from Orlando?
I don't know. I can't control that. I do have one from Atlanta, but you said I had to choose. Valerie from Orlando. Stop. You guys kill me. Turns out my brother-in-law isn't a 2.5%er.
Oh, for the Walmart?
He couldn't get a job at Walmart. Now he works at hair cuttery. So imagine that. Love it. Keep the laughs coming, Valerie from Orlando.
I was a hair cutter guy for a long time.
Can't stand it.
Really?
Nope. Can't.
I just have one close to my house.
I do too. They're everywhere. Here's what I can't stand about it. At least at the one I used to go to, everyone smokes. It's in your face, and they stink, and their hands stink.
I don't think that's a hair cuttery specific thing.
Well, the place I go to now doesn't have it.
Did you try multiple hair cutteries?
No, I'm not going to drive to another place. I want to go to the close place.
I think that just might have been specific. I've never smelled a cigarette at mine. Now, actually, I don't know if it's a hair cuttery or a super cuts.
That's different.
I get those mixed up.
I'm not a hair cuttery fan.
Okay.
So don't call and ask to sponsor the pod. Julie from Atlanta. I'm in sales and always in my car. Y'all's podcast is a highlight of my week. Ryan, come do comedy here. Please bring Matt. If you guys play golf, my husband will take you to play. When you come, he loves you guys too. Question for both of you. What do you guys do for fun? Well, we hunt together a lot.
That's right. I like to get out on the water. Live close to a lot of water. So took the kids out on a buddy's boat this past weekend.
That's fun.
Which was fun on the St. Johns River. Used to be called the Nile of North America.
Is that right?
Yes. A lot of nature tours back in the day before Florida became so developed. Jacksonville was the hub. hotspot before Henry Flagler came down here. So everybody would travel to Jacksonville. They'd stay there. They'd get off the train there.
At the Flagler Hotel, now Flagler College.
That's where basically they started in St. Augustine there, and then it went all the way down. And now the Breakers in Palm Beach is the sister property to the Ponce de Leon Hotel in St. Augustine,
which
turned into Flagler
College. Okay, I had that wrong.
That's right.
Well, yeah, Matt and I do a lot of hunting, and I love to play golf, so we will definitely take your husband up on that.
When we say hunting,
we're bird hunters.
Oh yeah, I clear this up. I'm not a rifle guy. I know you've done. I know you've done some rifle stuff. I'm not a good shot. I'm an okay shot.
Yeah.
I also don't have a lot of patience, so I like to be able to walk around and be a little bit loud.
Bird hunting, you can do that.
Correct.
Yeah. We have a lot of fun doing that. All right, let me read this last one. This is good. Stephen from Maitland. Would you guys do a live show together? My wife and I recently saw Steve Martin and Martin Short at Dr. Phillips Center in Orlando. Not saying you guys are at that level yet, but I think the two of you doing a live show would be incredible. Even if you just had an audience while you filmed the podcast. What do you think, Steve from Maitland?
I don't have performance issues.
I would do it.
Yeah, in anything.
I would do that if there was more than 8 people that we felt like would show up outside of our parents.
I think 8 feels like a good number.
Maybe not Dr. Phillips Center, but maybe like
my mom wouldn't come. I just want to clear that up.
Kind of far.
It's a bit far.
I bet we could do like the corner of a Starbucks, where there's like 2 tables. I think we could fill that up, no problem.
What have you been up to lately?
Oh man, I know you're gonna ask that. We're kind of like summer.
Right.
So we're like pre-vacation packing.
Right.
I wish there was more funny there. It's just getting kids ready for camp, getting ready to go, getting the dog and the cars loaded, and it's just
so pretentious.
Does it?
Getting the kids ready for camp? You just have one going to camp, right?
No, they're all going. Different times.
Camp is pretty great.
It's awesome, but they're all going different times.
Right.
But it'll be fun. It's
the stress level in the house when you're packing for something is way worse when you have a baby. Way worse.
Way worse.
I mean, the amount of stuff that you have to prepare for and pack that, I don't know. I just stop at like a Walgreens along the way and grab snacks continually. Otherwise, before it was now you're traveling, you're going to feed a small country.
Right.
In the back of your car.
One time I was at breakfast and I was at first watch, pouring down rain. And I'm sitting by myself having breakfast. And I see this SUV pull up. Dad gets out with an umbrella, goes around to the other side, gets his wife out with the umbrella. He's standing in the rain. She goes to the back seat, gets a baby, newborn out in the carrier.
Right.
Takes the baby. He walks them to the door, the mom and the baby to the door. They go in. I'm watching this from the window. He drives, can't find a parking spot close. Now he's unloading. He's got the umbrella pinched under his neck because he's got 3 diaper bags, all a backpack.
Yeah.
We've all done it. Well, he sits down and I'm watching him sit down and apparently he's forgotten something. I can't imagine what it was. And she is, hands waving, just berating him.
You know what I hope that kid is prepared for? A divorced household.
Well, we were all there with little kids. So I watch this happen. I tell the waitress, I'm like, hey, can I just have a check?
Oh, that's nice.
Well, yeah. But I wrote on there. I was like, hey, I've been there before. By the way, give him a break. And here's a tip. You don't need near as much stuff as you think you do. I did write that.
Oh, gosh.
I wasn't like rude about it, but I was just like, well, the wait, as you can imagine, the waitress brings it over. He reads the note and she turns around to look at me and kind of because the waitress pointed and I kind of did a little,
You're doing great.
Yep. You're doing great. You're doing great. While she turned around, he gives me these effusive thumbs up.
Oh, but then he put him down when she turned around real quick.
Because she wasn't happy about it.
Yeah, that's not going to last. I went out last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Random Wednesday. Had a dinner in Melbourne Beach, Florida. Space Coast.
The Space Coast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ton of actual industry there relating to the infrastructure and the privatization of that whole industry. Crazy. Had a dinner, went a little late. I think I was up till 3 a.m. It was quite interesting evening. So what that, of course, led to was a McDonald's order this morning. I cannot drive by a McDonald's hungover without pulling in.
Do you think to yourself, don't do it this time?
Yes. And I'm actually pulling up to the drive-thru and I'm thinking to myself, I'm just going to get something small. I'm going to get a coffee, maybe 1 hash brown. Okay.
Right.
That's it. Just a little taster. Of course, when
snacker.
Yeah. When the time comes to order, what you order is the Egg McMuffin meal with the large coffee and then 2 extra hash browns, which is what I got.
3 hash browns.
3 hash browns, that Egg McMuffin, and a large coffee this morning, and a bottle of water just to pull me back.
Which I bet you just crushed.
Well, I needed something to take my Pepsi AC with.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I've been up to. And then you just saw me house a bunch of leftover Chipotle chips and queso. Just being hungover makes me hungry.
Sure. It's kind of a vicious cycle.
Doesn't happen often.
Although I feel like we've talked about it several times.
Just twice. We've talked about it twice.
Right. So it's only happened twice in the last month.
That's probably right.
I had 2 last night.
Yeah, just red wine. You're a red wine guy.
I am, but I'm out. I'm not out, but I'm out of the stuff I like, the drinkers.
Yeah.
So I got to make a run.
You got some nice stuff, but you're not going to break into that just by yourself.
Correct. And my wife actually is like, she doesn't really drink red wine anymore. She's like, just drink it. I'm like, I don't know how to say this, but I'm not going to drink this bottle just by myself because I'm bored on a Wednesday night.
Right. If I had some
friends.
friends over on Wednesday night, then we would drink it.
Well, sure, but I'm not a drinker, so I got to make a run today.
Okay. So that's what I've been up to. Very, very fresh.
Just fresh and got that hangy kicking.
Something's kicking today. I'm still gonna try to make it to the gym this afternoon, though.
You know, you've been doing really good about that.
I do not like cardio. I actually hate it.
Clearly.
Uh,
Sorry.
Here's the problem with cardio.
I had a hunch.
I cannot burn enough calories because I'm a fairly impulsive eater. I can't burn enough calories running or doing cardio or whatever it is, HIIT training, that would justify the amount of calories that I consume because I'm that much more hungry associated with my workout. If I go running for 30 minutes, I'm super hungry.
Right.
For the entire next 24
And you really
hours.
probably only burn 200,
350 calories, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll have 2 full regular Coca-Colas.
Right. Well,
and then a bag of M&Ms before I even get into the chips.
keep that thought right there.
I'm just saying. I mean,
no, keep that.
Okay, I got it.
Man, I love when we don't plan stuff, but it works out so
Okay.
good.
All right. Is this your show and share?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes. All right.
Do you know that Coca-Cola is I don't know if I should say the number one product or the product that, so however that works, people will pay more for less of.
Like the mini Cokes, is that what you're talking about?
That's essentially what I'm talking about.
Oh, God, those things are in my house.
So my
I
point
hate 'em.
is, okay,
They're
so
just a tease.
well, okay, maybe for you, but for the American public in general, it is the item that they will pay more per ounce
Yeah.
to get less of. So it's like, hey, if I don't know, well, a regular Coke can of 12 ounces is, let's just say it's in a 12 packet, comes out to $1 a can.
Right.
People will pay $1.25. I'm making that up, but that's essentially the article. $1.25 for 8 ounces. So a third less.
Right. We're really doing math today.
Yeah, I'm right. A third less.
Yeah.
But they'll be willing to pay 25% more.
Very interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Well, I get it because I freaking love Coke.
I like it. I do like it, but I don't drink it because it just so empty calories. But I think people don't trust themselves. Like if you open a can of Coke, you're going to drink the whole thing.
They say that sugar's more addictive than heroin. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that.
But who's they? Who's been saying that?
The proverbial they.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. You know how like Trump uses they?
Yeah.
They are saying.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. I don't know who they are, but I've heard it.
So isn't that interesting?
Yes, that's very
because
interesting.
people, you don't trust yourself. So you go, okay, I want a Coke.
Yeah.
I don't need to drink all this. I'm going to pay more because I don't have any self-control.
Yeah, that's amazing. Or you're going to pay more because then maybe that's the only amount that you want to drink. You still might have self-control, but then the rest of the Coke goes flat.
I don't think anybody drinks a little, I don't think anybody doesn't drink a whole can.
I know people that don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are they?
My current wife.
Really? I walked into that. You have a show and share over there, pal?
I do. I have a show and share. You like roller coasters?
I do.
Yeah. When do you think this isn't like a pop quiz or anything. When do you think the first roller coaster was invented?
1916 Coney Island.
Actually, you're pretty close.
Am I?
Close. 1880s.
Okay.
I mean, fairly close. So I had to come along with the industrialization of America.
Probably steam powered.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Had to be. How else could you get the how good,
Maybe. Yeah.
Unless it was fairly flat, then that's just called a train.
Woo! So America. So these two things go together. Was for a long time was built just basically on like cotton, saloons, and brothels, right? And then out west a little bit,
little beef every now and then.
all the opium dens, right?
Yeah.
So I do like when people are like, oh, America needs to get back to its roots and be like a real moral place. I'm like,
well, let's a little revisionist history there.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Yeah, we used to be a very hedonistic. We're much more moral today than we've probably ever been.
We just know more about it today. That's all it is.
I don't know if we know more about it or less about it, but certain aspects of our society have won out over the years. This is the reason why, however, roller coasters were invented, because America used to be a place of hedonistic activity.
Mm-hmm.
A businessman, hosiery businessman, so a guy that was in the leg business.
John Roller Coaster.
LaMarcus Thompson. Okay. Maybe he's French.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds French.
The 1880s. Unfortunately, I don't think they were giving African Americans a lot of chances to invent things in the 1880s.
Right.
He invented it as a distraction for New Yorkers to get away from the brothels and the saloons. And this would be a good, fun family entertainment to come out.
Was I right about Coney Island?
You're definitely right about Coney Island.
Was I really?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Wow.
Yeah, makes sense. So they would all take the train out there, I guess.
I knew it wasn't Six Flags over Atlanta because that seems fairly recent.
Well, Sherman had just burnt all that down.
Right.
So in the 1880s.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, I bet you were.
What was Sherman? What's the 80s? Yeah, Sherman. Well, Sherman was big then.
Mid
Yeah.
1860s.
Yep.
Came through, got to Savannah, said, this place is too pretty.
We're not going to mess with that.
Not going to mess
Too
with
hot
it.
also. Let's.
Same with Charleston. I think that Charleston got kind of passed over too. Charleston's really out of the way. It's a hard place to get to.
Beautiful though.
Oh my gosh.
Love it.
Unbelievable.
Shout out to our friends in Charleston.
It's a great town. For the per capita, I bet it has the best food in the country. Like
Yeah.
for the size of the city and number of good restaurants.
I heard this. This is what they're saying. Charleston has now surpassed Nashville for the #1 spot for bachelorette parties.
Really?
Nashville was #1 forever. Now Charleston is. I mean, I heard that on another podcast, and they might have heard it on another podcast, and they might have just made it up, but I'm just telling you what I heard.
Okay.
Makes sense.
It does make sense. It's Nashville's easier to get to for people all over the country.
Sure.
Yeah, Southwest
We can
flies
fly
in
Southwest direct from here. Yeah,
right.
it's easy.
Charleston, there's not
Nope.
many directs. You're taking
I don't think you can even fly there.
you could definitely fly to Charleston.
Well, I know, but like not without going to Atlanta or Charlotte or something.
That's correct.
Yeah,
You'll
there's
fly
no
through one
direct.
of those two places for the most part.
That's interesting.
Okay, those are good. Are you ready for my pop quiz?
Yeah.
Okay, Viagra.
All right. Sounds like this could be a hard question.
Viagra was discovered by accident. So they were doing heart trials. It was invented as like a vasodilator to open up the blood vessels or whatever. So your heart, if you were going to like have a heart attack or it'd be better for like your heart, you wouldn't have a heart attack.
I'm not a heart doctor.
Yeah, it was in trials for cardiovascular.
And the idea would be if your blood can't flow through, we're going to open up the blood vessels.
Right,
And then
even more.
It can pass through.
That's
even more.
right.
Okay.
That's
I got
why
it.
allegedly, well, you get flushed when you take it.
Because it opens up all the
That's
blood
right. It's like taking a
vessels.
bunch of niacin or something like that.
Okay.
Right. And so they noticed in these trials that in the men
Yep.
that they're all of a sudden people are just having full on erections.
Yep.
And they're like, I might be onto something here. That's
Good
not the
for your
only
heart.
application for Viagra.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think some other applications for Viagra would be? Not in people.
Oh, not in people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe if there was a mating situation that
Think flowers here. What do you think happens if you put Viagra, just a milligram of it, into a vase of flowers that may be a week old or something like that?
brings them right back to life?
Causes them to stick straight up for another week.
Really?
Yes. Stiff as a board.
That is unbelievable. I made a joke one time to the guy that runs the garden shop in our neighborhood
Yeah.
about using Miracle Grow. And he's like, it's not really good for your plants. And I don't really care because I just want them to look good and then I'll throw them away and get new ones.
Right.
But I made the joke. I was like, it's like putting Viagra in there. They stand straight up. I wonder if there's the same active ingredient in both Miracle Grow and Viagra.
I don't know. I guess it has to be maybe cut flowers, but it makes them last a week longer than expected. Much similar to a husband, for example.
For get a whole nother week out of this fella.
I don't know about another week, but maybe another 5 minutes.
Yep. Wow, that's interesting.
Okay.
I got a pop quiz for you.
I'm in.
Who invented Lincoln Logs? What famous person invented Lincoln Logs?
I can say I don't know. Well, you want me to say Abraham Lincoln?
Well, that's what I thought.
I think he was pretty busy doing other things.
Well, he wasn't always president. He wasn't always getting shot.
I would,
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It is the son, and you don't have to tell me the son's name.
Okay.
You could have said this family. It is the son of one of the most prolific and famous architects in America.
Architects.
Mhm.
The Frank Lloyd Wright family.
John Lloyd Wright
Really?
invented the Lincoln Logs. Yep.
So if he was the son of that, so it's probably like a 1950s invention.
1916. Yep. And let's see. It was, this is interesting. When you got the Lincoln Logs, he created them. They were called J.L. Wright Manufacturing. Okay. Give me, obviously, one of the things you could make was Abraham Lincoln's cabin. That was where
Okay.
okay.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So they would come based kind of like today's Legos. When you buy Legos for your kids nowadays,
There's
it
instructions.
it's instructions, but it's not just like a free for all. It's instructions to build something specific.
Okay. So here's the pop quiz.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that wasn't it.
No, I haven't even got there yet.
Okay.
Now, remember the times. What was the other cabin?
Uncle Tom's?
Yes.
No.
I promise. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I nailed it though.
We both nailed them. We nailed our pop quizzes.
It's incredible.
We nailed our pop quizzes. Absolutely incredible.
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
It seems a bit off color.
What's incredible about that, what struck me is so crazy about that, is you have Lincoln, who was famous for
Emancipating. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
With these logs, you can create Lincoln's Cabin, who was responsible for the emancipation of slavery and all that.
Right.
Or you could build Uncle Tom's Cabin, which is like a sign and symbol of yesteryear's slavery and whatnot.
That's right.
That's incredible.
I don't think you'd get away with that today. Did you ever read Uncle Tom's Cabin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pretty sad.
it's been a while.
Hard to read. I mean, I didn't read it.
We had to read it in middle school, I think.
I think I did too.
I don't remember it.
I don't think I read it.
You just didn't read it?
Yeah. I'm also just assuming that it's sad. I really don't know.
I was thinking it was a wonderful story.
I don't think it's a wonderful story.
I think you're right. I don't think it's a wonderful story. Well, let me remind everybody of our email address, which is outinthehallpod gmail.com. We do appreciate those of you that
I'd be excited
that wrote in.
to get the password for that, like you promised last week.
I'll give it to you after next week's episode.
I need to verify this fan mail situation.
It's been, I've spent hours sorting through this stuff. But I did want to throw in the negative one from Mark or whatever.
The guy from Jack's.
Yeah. Find out who that is. It's got to be somebody we know.
Mark from Jack's.
Thanks for wasting 45.
Jeez.
All right. Well, Mark, thanks.
Thanks, Mark.
No, thanks everybody that wrote in. That's awesome. That's a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed another episode of Out in the Hall.
I love you.
Love you.